Say hi to everybody. Oh no, don't get the camera. Yes, this is live and it is me, Amy, for our monthly live. And that was Duncan. Of course, he comes in just as I hit the button. Hey, Lynn. Yes, please let me know if you get here. Linda, yay! So glad you guys could join me. I've got some really good, Debbie, welcome. I've got some really good stuff to tell you guys today. But I want to just take a few minutes and say hello to everybody that's joining and find out how your summer's going. You know, it's just going too fast for me, to be honest. It's going way, way too fast. I cannot believe that we are already in August. Yikes. So I hope that whatever you're doing this summer, that you're having a fabulous time. I also want to let you guys know, while we're waiting for a couple more people to pop in here, that if you haven't seen, I posted for the people that were interested in the retreat that I am organizing with Sita and Claudia. It is October 11th through the 13th in Tuscany, Italy. It is all-inclusive, you guys. You just need to get your butt to the airport, and we even transport you to the villa. We cover food, we cover lodging, plus all the information that we're going to be giving you guys. So we're super, super excited to bring all of that. And if you're not somebody that wants to take part in that, or it's not something that really speaks to you, if you wouldn't mind posting or sharing it on your social media. Look, we have discounted this literally half price. So there is no money on this first one to market. And we're unfortunately going to rely on friends and friends of friends because there's only 9 spots. We had 10, but we already had somebody sign up, one person in 48 hours. So that's a good thing. So don't delay, don't dilly-dally. If it's something that speaks to you, please go ahead and sign up and secure your spot. And if it's something that you know someone that might be interested, let them know about it. All right, enough about that. And you know, I think there's some new people here that might not know. If you're interested in watching these and a whole lot more, I also have a YouTube channel under the same name, Aha Moments with Amy. And I post these over there, and I also post date days with my husband. So if you want to really get some laughs in there or some ideas on what you can do with somebody that you really care about, or just some friends, pop over there and watch those videos. I don't put them here because it's on the other channel. So, all right, I see I've got like 8 people, and I know there's certain people that get a little bit antsy if I delay too long. So I'm gonna start off by telling you what I found out last weekend that women are doing to their face. You guys, I thought that it was, okay. So, last weekend, I spent with my brother and sister at my brother's house, and she told me of this thing that she was doing, and she showed me the tool. I was like, oh, well, that's really nice. And then I come home, and just yesterday, my neighbor says the same thing to me. So, you're probably wondering, okay, Amy, what the heck is it? It's called dermaplaning. Have any of you heard about dermaplaning? Dermaplaning is a scalpel facial. Yes, a scalpel facial. They go into the dermatologist or anesthetician, I think that's how you say it. And they take a scalpel and they don't cut. They scrape it on their skin like a facial, and it removes not only the dead skin like a facial, but it removes all, you know, the peach fuzz that we have on our face? It removes all of that. And it is, some people say that they absolutely love it, that it allows makeup to lay flatter on your skin because it doesn't have the little fine baby hairs. And some people actually say, well, the doctors say that it's actually good for your skin because it removes all the dead skin, and it gives you like a glowing appearance. Now, My sister had it done in a dermo's office, and then she went out and bought a tool for herself. And my neighbor has the tool for herself, and they just do it every, I don't know, a couple days, week, whatever. And I'm thinking, really? So please comment and let me know if you've ever heard of dermaplaning. And now that you know about it, would you do it? Would you really remove the facial hair? The very fine, I mean, if I turn sideways, you can probably see the little baby hairs on your face. What do you think? Would you do it? They swear by it. They think it's the best thing. So let me know. I'll go back and read your comments when I'm done. So that was the first thing that I wanted to share, because that really kind of blew my mind. At first I thought, oh, that's just a thing my sister's doing. But then when my neighbor came and told me about it, I was literally floored. So yes, so go ahead and leave your comments. Let me know if you would do dermaplaning. And then I want to get into the 3 musts for a happy, fulfilling relationship. And they're probably not what you're thinking. Now, I don't know how much you know about me because I haven't shared a whole lot, but believe it or not, I have been married almost 30 years. It is 28 years in October. 28 years in October. And so I started to think, I had a conversation. The reason why I'm doing this conversation with you now is because I had a conversation with one of my neighbors who is going through a situation which I'm not going to share, and it's actually a gentleman. But I realized through the conversation that he didn't know these 3 things. And I thought, well, if he doesn't know them, maybe you don't know them. And even if you're in a great relationship, these are some things that you can use to make it even better. So you ready? I'm going to see. Is everybody ready? Okay. The first thing, which is a must, and you're going to be like, yeah, I know that, but I'm going to challenge you. You need to know who you are. And people are going to say, yeah, I know who I am. And I'm going to challenge you. Do you really know who you are? Not who you used to be or who you want to be, but who you are right now. Now, a lot of you know the story that I often tell about that has to do with that Runaway Bride movie with Julia Roberts, where she is engaged to different guys, and with each fiance, she likes her eggs a different way. And when Richard Gere comes and goes to do an interview with her and gets to really know her, he realizes that she has no clue who she actually is. She doesn't even know how she likes her eggs. And you know what? Years ago, you guys, I didn't even know how I liked my eggs. Now, I know how I liked them when I was a kid. I liked them scrambled with ketchup. Ew, I don't like them that way now. I don't mind them scrambled, but not with ketchup. And I know how I liked them when I used to make them for my kids. We used to make what's called a bullseye, where you cut out the middle and then you crack the egg in and then you flip it, and then when you poke the egg, it's runny, it's soft, and then you use the part that you cut out as like a little dipping thing. I used to love them. And so I had to really sit and not think, how do I like to make them, or how have I eaten them, or how does everybody else like them, but how do I like them, and how do I like them now? And I'm going to challenge you to really get to know who you are. What do you really like to do? Not what do you like to do with your children, or how do you like to spend your spare time with your family or your friends, but what do you like to do? You. Do you like reading? Do you love hiking? Maybe you don't. Maybe you go hiking because your husband really likes to hike. Maybe you do reading because there's a lot of downtime and you're trying to fill it. But do you like to crochet? I like to crochet. Do you like to crochet? So what are the things that make you happy, make you you? Not what you used to be. Because, let's face it, when I was younger and I was single, I used to do different things than I do now. A prime example is when I turned 50. When I turned 50, my husband looked at me and he said, Amy, how do you want to celebrate? Well, My younger self would have loved to have everybody come over. My family, all my friends, have this big old party in my house. That's how my younger self would have wanted to do it. At one point in time, I would have loved, he said, well, do you want to go to a restaurant? That would have been cool too. He even offered me a trip anywhere in the world. He goes, anywhere in the world, where would you want to go? And at that point, even though I love to travel now, at that point, I didn't really want to celebrate by traveling. So what did I end up doing? It took me, I'm embarrassed to say, it took me a very long time to really figure out what I wanted. Not what I thought everybody would enjoy, but what I would enjoy. I didn't want to sit and make a big dinner and have everybody come over. It's too much damn work for me. I didn't want to make a lot of sweets that I wasn't going to eat. I was done doing that for people. This was me. What did I want? How did I want to celebrate? So how did I celebrate? I invited all of my friends over and we played charades. I had the best time. I laughed. I have wonderful memories. Did I have food? Yes, I had food. I had yummy food. I had sweets I wouldn't eat. I had food I would eat. I had a little bit of everything, but I didn't do it like a big old 3-course meal with appetizers and dessert. Everybody stood around and just had snacks and dessert kind of things, and then we played charades. It was a ton of fun, but it was so much fun because I had really sat and looked inside to figure out who I am, and at this point, what do I want? Now, the more you know about yourself, the better off you're going to be in a relationship, because that is the first relationship that you need to know and be secure with, is the one that you have with yourself. Do you like to work out? Do you do it because you have to? What kinds of things do you do to make yourself feel good to work out? Do you like to bike? You know, I tried pickleball. I know some of you know about that experience. So I've tried different things. Find out what makes you light up. What makes you happy? What do you like for you, not for everybody else? So that's the first absolute must. Now, once you know what you like and who you are, the second thing is to know, what do you want in a relationship? Now, I know a lot of us joke, we want tall, dark, and handsome, but there's a lot more to it than just tall, dark, and handsome. And believe it or not, all of that fades in time. So you might say, I want somebody who's kind. Well, that's a good start. But you need to sit down and write down all the things. If you were going to create, if you were going to do a potion and you were going to create, you need to think about all aspects. Things like, how does that person like to, and whether it's a man or a woman, you need to know how that person that you want to be with is, how they want to be, what they want to do for fun. Maybe you're somebody that likes to sit on a beach and read a book and just chill. And that's great. And maybe you want somebody to do that with you. Then write that down. Me, I don't like the beach. I don't like the sand. I don't like the sun. I burn in the sun. So I have to stay covered up. I don't mind walking on the beach. I don't mind looking for shells or doing sand castles. But after about 20 minutes, I'm about done with the beach. So I'm somebody who likes to do more adventurous stuff. I like going and exploring. I like doing hikes. I like the outdoors. Some people don't like the outdoors. They don't like being sweaty. They don't like bugs. So find out what kind of person do you want to be with. First, know who you are, and then know who do you want to be with. But be with in its entirety. Think about things like, how do they spend their money? Do you like somebody who's a saver? Do you like somebody that's a spender? Do you like somebody that is somewhere in between? Do you like somebody that has a great relationship with his mother? Do you like somebody that has no relationship with his family, that you don't have to compete? Do you like somebody that has the same political views as you do? or somebody that has the same religious beliefs as you do? Does that matter? Is that important? Do you and then you need to list things that are deal breakers. I'll give you a couple of my deal breakers when I was single. And this is nothing against, please don't take it personally, this is nothing against people who choose to smoke. But I have chosen not to. My mother used to. She used to have me take a puff of her cigarette. I chosen not to smoke. And for those who have chosen not to smoke, kissing somebody that smokes is not the most pleasurable thing. It's like licking an ashtray for me. So dating somebody or married to somebody that smokes wasn't ever going to happen. That was a deal breaker. Let's see, what was another deal? Dogs. You all know I love my dog Duncan. If he was allergic to dogs or he didn't like animals, that would be a deal breaker for me. If you don't want children and the person really wants children, that might be a deal breaker. If you really like to travel and that person is more of a homebody, that might be a deal breaker. So you need to list the deal breaking items as well as what you actually want in all aspects, not just tall, dark, and handsome. Because let's face it, all of those things fade. Now I did have, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be open. I did have one physical feature that doesn't change, doesn't fade, that I really, really wanted in a guy. And that was to have a really big hand. And no, ladies, it's not because of what that means. Don't get your mind going in the gutters. But I really wanted somebody with a really big, muscular, not all calloused and gross, but a big hand so that when I held his hand, I felt safe. That was really important to me. He had a beautiful head of hair. Now a lot of his hair is gone, but that's okay because his hands are still really big and make me feel really safe. Something else I'll share. I dated a guy before I married my husband who ate like a bird, literally ate less than me. And that made me feel like a pig every time we would go out to eat. So it was really important to me to find a guy that didn't stuff his face and was really gross, but ate like a normal person, not like a bird that would make me feel uncomfortable when we would go out. So start thinking deeper than tall, dark, and handsome. And start thinking about more of what you really want. Writing it down helps. Believe it or not, I'm kind of a weirdo in that sense. I actually had a checklist of everything I wanted in a guy. I wanted a guy to open my door. And you know what? To this day, my husband still opens the car door for me. You can even ask my kids. And if he forgets or if he gets distracted, I just sit there. He eventually opens the door because that's what was important to me. But what's important to you? Little things, big things. Do you need someone that compliments you? Do you want somebody that gives you small gifts or small notes? Do you, do you want somebody that cooks for you because you hate to cook? My husband, he's gotten better over the years, trust me, because he's had to. But if that's what you want, put that down. Now, for those of you who are already in relationships and already married for quite some time, I'm going to challenge you as well, because some things that I have done recently in my own relationship has changed it, because I got to a point where I'm changing. We are a certain way, and as we progress through life, we grow and we change, and hopefully we grow for the better. We get to be a better version of who we are. And in doing so, I realized there were some things that, frankly, I was really tired of doing and I didn't want to do anymore. And I shared that with him, and now he's done it for himself. Now, what is that, you might be asking? He, about 2 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, 2 years ago, I guess, started doing Atkins. Now, as you know, Atkins is a very restrictive meal plan, and I would get up in the morning and I would start making breakfast, and I would say to him, the conversation would go something like this. Okay, you want eggs. How many eggs do you want? 2 or 3? He'd say, I want 2. Okay. How do you want your eggs? Do you want them over easy? Do you want them scrambled? How do you want your eggs? So he'd tell me how he wanted his eggs. And I'd say, okay, what kind of meat do you want? Do you want bacon? Do you want sausage? I want sausage. Do you want links or do you want patties? I'll do patties. How many patties? 2 or 3? I'll have 2. By this point, he could have made his own breakfast, and needless to say, I wasn't eating that for breakfast. So I was having to make 2 meals, which wasn't really working for me either. So I eventually just sat him down and I said, look, I would like to have you in the kitchen with me, making our meals side by side, so that when our meals are done, we can actually sit down together and eat together, instead of me making yours and serving you or putting it down or having to cover it and keep it warm until I make mine, because I can't make them come out both at the same time when I'm making 2 totally different things. Although I try, a lot of times it doesn't come out exactly at the same time. So, and I said, and plus, God forbid anything were to happen to me, I want to know that you can take care of yourself and that you're not going to be eating 3 meals a day out at fill in the blank. Cracker Barrel, Bob Evans, Shoney's, whatever the restaurant is that people go to for breakfast. I want to, IHOP. I want to know that you can take care of yourself. And this will help me feel more assured that I'm not just, bringing you fish, but I'm teaching you how to fish. So it also made me feel better knowing that he could do that. And now we get to sit down and we get to have a great meal. Now, this year I realized at the end of last year, I started traveling a ton. And he is traveling a ton between work and his extracurriculars with air shows. So we were kind of traveling in different circles, and I was starting to feel very disconnected from him. So I decided in January that we were going to reinstitute date day. But it wasn't going to be date day where Amy planned it all the time or where John planned it all the time. We were going to take turns. And each month we take a turn and we do date day. And I planned it first, and it was a total surprise to him. I tell him how to dress, and I don't tell him where we're going. And it's fun. It brings back that excitement of when you first started dating, when you were planning and what do I need to wear? And are we gonna go eat? Or is it gonna be something outside? Am I gonna be sweaty? Or what is it that we're gonna do? So it makes you excited, because I tell you what, after being together almost 30 years, you get into a pattern, you settle in. And I was getting to a point where I wasn't being really happy with being settled in anymore. I wanted to have some fun again. And instead of pressuring him, I pressured both of us. I thought that was fair. So some of the things that we've done, I have, by the way, recorded all of our date days and all the crazy adventures we've done, and I've put them on the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in finding out what date days we have done, some have worked and some have not. And mine is coming up. I'm doing the next date day. One of our date days was rock climbing and pedicures. And I made lunch and we ate it in the car because we didn't have any time in between. He took me to an archery lesson where we had a private lesson, and I got to shoot all different kinds of bows. Bows. And believe it or not, I got a bullseye! Not just in the circle, but in the crosshairs of the circle. And so we've done some things like that. We've gone to a museum, we've done glass blowing, and we're in month 7? And I think we're kind of a little bit delayed. I think this is our 6th date day. because we had a little mishap in 1 month that we couldn't get it in. Our schedules we couldn't even find one day because he was too jet lagged and we were coming and going. And summer's a little bit challenging for us because he travels so much in the summer. So that is the challenge for those that are in a relationship currently. That even though you're in a relationship, oh my gosh, my foot has fallen asleep, you guys, and now it's like in pins and needles. Even though you're in a relationship, you might get to a point where you might want to spice it up, or you might want to change it, or you might want to reignite it. And so there's nothing wrong with sitting your partner down and telling them that and sharing and brainstorming. Now, I will tell you, this brings me to my third must-do to have a happy, long-lasting, successful relationship. And that is, believe it or not, something my mother has told me for years and years and years, and that is to be patient. Once you know who you are and you know what you're looking for, just be patient. Don't settle. And hang on, people who are in a relationship, there's something for you too. But those that are looking, I know somebody that is just amazing. She is energetic and vibrant, and she loves to travel, and she loves the outdoors, and she loves to be physically fit, and she is not very much of a homebody, and she doesn't really sit still very often. And I'm here to tell you that when you start seeing all of your friends get married, or all of your friends seem to be in relationships and be married, that there is pressure, that you do feel the pressure to find somebody. And all I'm saying is that don't settle. Please don't settle. Because what happens, and please, if you're here and you are in a situation where you did settle and you didn't go with all of your list, you fell in love and you got married and you thought the rest would work itself out, and it didn't, please leave a comment and let others know that you should wait. It's worth waiting. It's better to wait and to find the right person than to marry the wrong person and then not be happy down the road. And you find the wrong person when you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're looking for. Or you just are looking for, you know what? Here's another thing. Falling in love is the easy part. Come on, you can fall in love with just about anybody that's halfway decent. Staying in love, long time, long term, is what's not so easy, especially if you've compromised. So, going back to that person who is fun and energetic and loves the outdoors and never sits still and loves to travel, is now dating somebody that isn't really like that. And, maybe that's what that person needs. Maybe that's what that person wants. But long term, I'm not too sure, because the person that she is not the person that can compromise on so many areas so much. There's nothing wrong with compromise, ladies. I'm lucky. I wrote out my list, and I will tell you, I got my list, the entire list. I have a guy that respects his mother, but he's not a mama's boy. I have a guy that can balance spending and saving. Sometimes he spends a little too much, but sometimes we just have to reel him in. He loves adventure. He's open to change. He can laugh at himself. Oh, here is a big one, you guys. I forgot about this one. Have you ever gone to a party and you bring your guy to a party where you know all the people, but he doesn't really know anybody yet, and he either A, stands in a corner like a wallflower and you feel so incredibly guilty, or, well, these days he probably would just be on his phone, or B, he is the life of the party and makes a total fool out of himself, or he is stuck to your side. Like you can't even talk to your girlfriends because he is literally like right here all the time. I experienced that and I did not like that. So one of the things on my list was somebody that could talk to anybody about anything. And you know what? My husband's able to do that. I could bring him to any party, any gathering, and he could find something to talk to someone about. That was really big for me. On the flip side, you know, when he brings me places, he doesn't just go off with his friends and just ditch me. I've had that happen to me. Now, I can carry on a conversation with just about anybody. I can do it to a phone. But it is nice when the guy, you know, checks back every once in a while and brings you a drink and he says, hey, just checking in, how's it going? Or, hey, love you, you look great tonight. Or whatever. It's nice that he just checks in, and John does that too. So if that's something that you want to put on your list, put it on. I'm giving you these ideas because I want you to think outside the box. I want you to think beyond tall, dark, and handsome. I want you to think beyond, I want him to have a bank account and a job. I want you to think a little bit deeper than that. Now, the third step, the being patient. That is not always easy. I'm watching my daughter try and be patient. I'm watching my sister. I'm watching a lot of friends that are single right now and being patient. And my hat is off to you. Patience has not been my long suit. My mom will testify to that. But it is worth it. It is. You're worth it. You deserve it. And for those of you who are married and you're now changing and you're asking your husband to do things a little bit differently than you've done in the last 5 or 10 years, be patient with him. He may be trying and you may get really frustrated. You know, when we first instituted date day, I'm going to share this with you. My husband was probably going to watch this. But the very first date day that he planned in February, he decided last minute, well, it appeared to me that it was last minute, that he was going to take me to this museum that he has taken everybody to. And everybody says it is the best. Now, I don't really like museums, but if so many people like this darn museum, I kind of wanted to check it out. So he decided for our date day that he was going to take us to this museum. Now, knowing that I don't really care for museums, maybe it would have been good to have a docent. Or maybe he could have, you know, come up with some stories to make the things that we were looking at a little more personal. But he didn't. And I tried to be engaging and I tried to be upbeat. And I was really disappointed. Disappointed because not only did I feel like he didn't really put the time and attention into planning that, but when we were done with the museum, we get in the car and now I am starving. And he pulls out snacks for himself. Yeah. And I said, are we going to lunch? And he goes, well, I looked, but I couldn't find any place that I thought would be good for you and, you know, your meat, you know, the things that you can eat and stuff. And I said, really? You couldn't find a place that has a salad? Even McDonald's has a salad. You couldn't find any place. And he goes, well, you always have food. Didn't you bring something? I said, did you tell me to bring something? Luckily, I had like an RX bar in my bag, but that wasn't going to satisfy me for lunch. I was hungry. And so needless to say, I was highly disappointed. Highly. Because I felt I created a story, which we can get into this another time, but I created a story that my husband didn't care for me, he doesn't love me, because if he did, he would have spent the time to really plan this, and he really didn't, and blah, 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 and I was mad. I was mad and I was disappointed, and I tried really hard to not show it. I know he knew, but I tried to be patient, and we did end up going out for dinner, to try and, salvage the date day. But moving forward, he really stepped up his game, you guys. I am completely and utterly blown away by what this man has now started to do. And with a little bit of love and a little bit of support and a little bit of guidance and a little bit of patience, he has really come full circle. And archery was the bomb diggity. And then he took me to the batting cages, which brought a huge amount of laughter, a lot of fun, something that I have never done, and brought back a lot of memories. And when we were, when I said to him, look, I'm no longer making you breakfast. And then he would say to me, he would get mad, he'd be like, there's nothing to eat in this house. And I'd be like, yeah, there is. If there's something that you want that is not in the house, then either A, you need to tell me to add it to the list, or B, you need to go get it yourself. And I'm not going to take that personally anymore. I'm not going to read that in to say, Amy, you're not doing a good job taking care of me. Amy, you're falling short on your responsibilities. I'm not going to read anything more into it than you didn't tell me you wanted that, and I can't read your mind. So being patient as you're instituting new changes into your relationship, and it's not necessarily bad things. It could be good things, like the date day is a good thing. We're having a lot of fun. It's bringing a lot of excitement and laughter and good times. And we're like, I got a good one this month, and it's a lot of fun. But it is also change. And so when you do something that changes, you got to give people, including yourself, a little bit of patience. So those are the 3 musts. Just to recap for the people who may have popped on, you must know yourself. Deep down, who you are, not who you were or who you're working on becoming, but who are you now? The second must is know who you want to be with. What are the characteristics, the traits, the fundamentals, how you want them to behave, think, feel, react, live. Know who you want to be with. And then the third must is have patience. It is worth it for those of you that are single to wait for who you are looking for. And for those of you who are married, who are looking to make changes in your relationship, make them small and be patient as you and your husband adjust to the new way that you're going to be moving forward. So, with all of that, I want to say thanks so much for joining me. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. I am going to go ahead and review everything that everybody said. But I really want to thank you guys. I really appreciate you coming on and letting me know that this is something that you want to hear, or this is something that is helpful, or this is something you want to hear more of, because I'm just talking to a phone. So I'm going to read all your comments and look forward to next month. And I am going to continue to be posting the aha moments every month, so please, and let other people know about the aha moments so that they can take part in this as well. And now I'm going to look back and see some of the comments. Oh my gosh, Lori, you made it! And Vicky and Carol. And Carol is the one that's joining us for our retreat. That's so awesome! We are so excited. We really are. You are going to be blown away by some of the things that we are doing for this retreat, you guys, Carol. You really are. So if you have a friend that you want to take with you, or you know somebody else, or anybody else in here knows somebody that really is stuck or is trying to find their new norm, or is trying to maneuver through menopause, trying to get through empty nest, trying to figure out their life now that their loved one has passed, or somebody in their life has passed, goodness, there's so many life transitions, you guys. Moving to a new area, or changing jobs, or retiring. There's so many life transitions or adjustments, and we have a tendency sometimes to lose ourselves during those times and need just a little bit of extra help to get ourselves back on track and figure out who we are. And that's what this retreat is all about, finding out who you are and becoming the best, boldest, bravest version of you. So let the other people know, and they can join Carol. Let's see. Your husband's a social butterfly. Yes, I know, Melissa. He is quite the social butterfly, and you love him for it. And it's nice. It's nice that he wants to take part. Hey, Melissa, you made it too. That's awesome. And Melissa, I do need to get in touch with you about lunch, so we can't forget that. Hey, Sherry made it! Oh my gosh, how are you? Gosh, so many of you made it. I'm so excited. Anusha, hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So many people made it. I'm gonna go back. Mano, you made it too. This is so awesome. What'd you say? I was so young and naive. I did not have a list, but now I am asking to be respected and treated well. Exactly, Manon. It's not only asking, but not settling for somebody who doesn't treat you well. If you want somebody to hold your door open, then you just need to wait until they do. And that's part of being patient, and that's part of knowing how to treat. You know what? The other thing is you need to teach people how to treat you, because they don't know. Everybody wants to be treated differently. And even with in-laws or children or grown children, you need to teach them how, because as they get older, the relationship changes, right, guys? And a lot of times we become more friends than like the parents that are guiding. We guide, but in different ways. We're more what my friend Tony used to say, you move to become an athletic supporter. He's a guy, so he makes those analogies. But basically, you move from really, raising them to being there for support, to pick them up when they're down, dust them off, and send them back on their way, and to celebrate when things are really good. You're just like an athletic supporter. I'd forgotten about that. That's for Rita, that's your husband, Tony. He's the one who told me that one, and he is so right. So you need to teach people how to treat you and how you want to be treated. And don't settle for less. And you know what? We are so wanting people to love us that sometimes we compromise on how we allow people to treat and talk to us. I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Please don't do that. You are worthy of people treating you nicely and speaking to you nicely, even when they've had a bad day. So, putting that out there for you. That'll be another conversation for another day. I could go on and on about this stuff, you guys. Hopefully you guys got stuff out of this. I hope this resonated for people who are both in relationships and looking to be in a relationship. I am going to go back and go through and I'll comment on all of your comments because I really, really appreciate you being here. I'm so grateful that you asked me to do this. I do remember when a bunch of people asked me to do this and I was like, oh, I can't do this. This is too scary. And you guys, I'm going to be honest. For those of you who thinks that this is easy for me now, I literally had a stomach ache before I pushed live. So it does calm down about halfway through, but I really appreciate you guys for supporting and encouraging me to do this. This has been an amazing experience for me, knowing that these aha moments and the things that I just have taken for granted that I've learned are things that other people would like to know as well. So with that, I will let you go. I know it's a Sunday. I know that you guys want to get out wherever you are and enjoy your summer. And I will see you next month. But in between, check out the other aha moments that I've recorded that will be uploaded every Sunday. Love you guys. Talk to you guys later. See ya.